Welcome to day one of the Cricket Wireless SWAC Football Virtual Media Days. Today's production is brought to you by Cricket Wireless. Smile, you're on Cricket. The United States Air Force. Join us and take your dreams to new heights, encouraging you to aim higher, further, and faster. USAA, the official military appreciation partner of the SWAC. Academy Sports and Outdoors. Get the gear in here to have fun out there. The official sporting goods retailer of the SWAC and the SWAC, building champions for life. What's good, football fans? Welcome into the 2020 Cricket Wireless SWAC Football Virtual Media Days. We are so delighted to be here with you. The Hall of Famer Jay Walker, Tiffany Greene with you. And look, there is so much to dive into over the next couple of days. We've got coaches' interviews with the players. We're going to pay homage to the SWAC legends that have come before these terrific players, also unveil the all-conference list, players of the year. Hey, 60 seconds with these student athletes. We're going to put them on the hot seat and ask them some random questions and see how they perform under fire. So without further ado, hello and welcome in once again. Let's see. SWAC has something going on special right now, and that is it's its 100th anniversary. Jay Walker, talk about the significance that you've seen how this conference has come about since you've been covering it.
I mean, wow, it's been a 100-year anniversary. You talk about star power throughout the offense, defense, some of the legends from the old school to the new school as well. When I talk about old school, let's talk about some of the Hall of Famers, just some of the Pro Football Hall of Famers. We're talking names like Deacon Jones, Willie Brown, Walter Payton, Jerry Rice. And then I also want to pay homage to the more recent inductees, those that just got into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Let's give a shout out to Harold Carmichael, wide receiver from Southern University, and also Winston Hill, who's an offensive lineman at Texas Southern before he went on to NFL fame. So I think the old school guys, you know, they built the conference, but there's some guys coming up that you may hear from sooner or later. Talk about the newer generation. Let's talk about Robert Mathis. We know what he did in the NFL. He went to Alabama A&M. I like the SWAC legends like Bruce Eugene that carried the conference in the 2000s. We're talking about Devontae Kincaid, who carried the G. How about Teron Armstead, Arkansas Pine Bluff, now doing great things in the NFL. You can't talk about SWAC, you can't talk about offense without mentioning Air McNair, Steve McNair, the legend of Alcorn State, Tavares Jackson. The list goes on and on and on. I think if you're one of the SWAC fans, you got to like the old school, but you also got to pay homage to the more recent players that have done fantastic things in the conference.
And I'll tell you, we'll get a chance to hear from those fantastic student athletes who hope to etch their name in history and be a part of that list moving forward, Jay. But first, it's kind of been like an interesting offseason, to say the least, for a little bit of everybody. This 2020 global pandemic has hit us in ways that we haven't quite imagined yet, but yet the Southwestern Athletic Conference is still thriving. We're talking league expansion, and quite frankly, I think it's the SWAC versus everybody.
That's what it seems to be like. And, you know, give credit to the conference commissioner, Charles McClellan. You know, I think he went with the Yogi Berra strategy. You know, if you're not living, you're dying. And they're living. They're continuing to grow, breathe in air. They obviously won the offseason sweepstakes with the expansion. I mean, they didn't just add two great programs. They added two signature programs with Bethune-Cookman coming on board and Florida A&M. And you're talking about the geographic footprint makes sense. They got to be proud of what they're doing. I think it was a great move for the conference to get those two schools if they were going to leave the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. However, things just got very competitive. You're talking about adding two quality football teams, and they're going to be on the east side of the bracket, Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman. Alcorn State, who's been a perennial winner, they're going to the west part of the bracket. If you don't know, that's where Grambling and Southern University hang out. So it'll be super competitive over there.
Yeah, I like the way that they mixed it up to make it even more intriguing in terms of competitive balance, just because of the way that Alcorn, the back-to-back defending SWAC champions, have owned the East. You know, when you look at this upcoming all-conference player list, you're expecting to see a lot of Alcorn State players on there, right? But when you're taking a look at that first team offense, It's not all Alcorn. It's not always Alcorn, like they say. Who jumps out to you?
One thing I'll give credit for, it's not all corn, but it is all corn at that quarterback position. And if you want to win football games, you have to have a trigger man. And Felix Harper, who was last year's Offensive Player of the Year, he's the preseason off-conference quarterback as well as a Player of the Year candidate. He makes it go. He's a guy that's dynamic in everything that he does. I do believe what stands out to me is, let's take a look, when we look at this offensive line, 2 offensive linemen from the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. I don't know when's the last time they've had 2 people first team offense. I think that's giving credit to what they did a season ago when they had the dynamic running back Taylor Porter. And these offensive linemen, they're back to see if they continue to get it done. So Arkansas Pine Bluff doing some good things. We'll see if they can keep running the football like they did a season ago.
And of course, they've got newness when you're talking about at that head coaching position. Charles Doc Gamble now taking over for Arkansas Pine Bluff. Now, when you move to that defensive list, obviously there is one name who stood out to both you and I on the football field. Anytime we saw Jackson State's Keontae Hampton take the field, you knew he was going to wreak havoc.
He's a hitting machine. I mean, one of the most explosive players in all of FCS football. Keontae Hampton, we know what he can do. He was last season's Defensive Player of the Year in the conference. No surprise, he'll be the Defensive Player of the Year preseason coming up this upcoming season. But something to have my head scratching, Tiff. This is the SWAC, right? And when I think about Prairie View A&M, they got the #1 offense in the conference. They score more points than anybody. Mm-hmm. Got 4 people projected to be first team all SWAC on defense. Dooley don't do defense that well normally, but maybe they're starting to say the offense is flashy. We need to have a defense if we want to win a championship. And they've got 4 players first team all conference. Let's see if that pans out for them.
Okay, so now we move to all conference team, well, second team, right? So let's look at both offense and defense pretty quickly, because if you look at Alabama A&M, you think to yourself, well, they had a terrific season, their first in some years. And Akil Glass, you think he's coming in with a chip on his shoulder?
Absolutely. I mean, that's a story. When you look at the second team offense, you got a quarterback in Akil Glass who led the conference in passing. He's very well going to try and say, I'm the best passer in this conference. I'm the best quarterback. Harper's the winner, but I think if Akil Glass wants to knock him off, he's going to have to win more football games than Alcorn State, and we'll see. He's an NFL talent, but trust me, being a former quarterback, you don't want to have your whole career being second team all conference. We'll see if Glass is up to the challenge.
And lastly, is there someone who is going to surprise on that list and be an all-conference first-team performer that you see hit it right now in the second team?
Chris Monroe, defensive lineman for Alcorn State. You can't move them. And there's a reason why their defense is so good on an annual basis, because guys like Chris Monroe clog the running lanes. He's a load to move out, very underrated. I think he's more than a second-team performer. If Alcorn's going to have success, it'll be because of the D tackle, Chris Monroe.
Okay, now there was a ton of buzz, Jay, this offseason when Neon Deion Primetime was hired to be the next head coach of Jackson State University. And of course, you mentioned some of those Hall of Famers, 4 of them coming out of the capital city of the SIP. Now, he moves into that position, and we talked about Doc Gamble taking over at UAPB. I mean, just assess these hires.
I mean, one, with Deion, he said all the right things at the press conference. That was hype. But when you talk to different coaches around the league, you know what they say? Deion's not playing. We're going to play Deion's players. We're not taking on Deion Sanders. So I think overall you have to give credit to the athletic director, Ashton Robinson. The buzz has been all about Jackson State. What will he do? He's going to put in the work. If he puts in the work, then he can have some success. I mean, let's face it. Jackson State is one of the blue blood programs of HBCU football. High expectations there at Jackson State. #1 fan base in the country. So we'll see what they do. Doc Gamble, you got to be thankful. He takes on a team that's talented, that if you're at Arkansas Pine Bluff, I don't know if you can win a SWAC championship every year, but they have enough people coming back where you can compete for it in consecutive years. Doc Gamble's got a loaded cabinet there, so we'll see if he can do it and get the Golden Lions in contention in SWAC play after a pretty successful season a year ago.
Well, look, folks, this is just a tease of what's to come. Those were kind of your off-season headlines and things to look forward to for the
Hey,
upcoming
you know
football
me.
season. Wait a minute.
You know
Oh,
this. I got to do it.
wait a
Don't tell them
minute.
something
Time
on the
out.
show.
Time out. You
I'm
know,
going to go on it. Before we get to the players, I'm going to go out there and say on today's show, at the end of the show, we're talking about coaches. I'm going to give you the 5 greatest coaches in the history of the SWAC. Who's going to do that? Who's going to do that? Stay
and
tuned.
you know what, folks? You'll have a chance to debate it, break down this list. Go ahead and tweet him and tell him what you think and what he got wrong and what he got
I don't
right.
get
You
it
know,
wrong.
Jay loves it because he's going to
I don't
always
get it wrong.
tell you what he thinks, right? All right. Well, there's much more to come, so stick around. Coming up on the other side, we'll talk to the Alabama A&M Bulldogs, their head coach and senior leader at quarterback, Akil Glass.
Hey, did you know in the 1800s ketchup was medicine?
Did you know cricket has nationwide 5G?
Wow, that's surprising.
But true.
And now I also know that in the 19th century, you would have been a picture of health.
Surprising but true. Cricket has nationwide 5G.
SWAC fans, now it's time for our team previews presented by USAA. Welcome back to the 2020 Cricket Wireless SWAC Football Virtual Media Days. Jay Walker, Tiffany Greene with you. And look, we've got our first coach and team that we get to preview here, and it's the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. When you take a look at what they did last season, coming off their first winning campaign since 2012, going at 7-5 overall. They were 4-3 in the conference that was tied for second best in the SWAC East. And in the third season at the helm of this program is Connell Maynor. And Connell, first off, got to give you some congratulations and lots of love. Recently named one of the MEAC's top 50 greatest players of all time, a 2020 Hall of Famer. And I know that makes Jay shiver and fear because, you know, you were the better quarterback. But when you take a look at what you've done with this program and the success that you're continuing to have and what you're building there in Huntsville, what is in store for this program in 2021?
Well, hopefully we got championships are in store. We got very close last year at Alcorn. We scored on last play, but Abdul stepped out and stepped back in, so he was the first one to touch it. So, you know, we was one play away last year, so we're trying to get a couple more players and tighten up things a little bit better, especially on the defensive side, where we weren't very good last year. So we got to get a little bit better on that defense side of the ball, continue doing well on the offensive side of the ball, and hopefully we can get past Alcorn and the rest of the conference and get to that SWAC championship game and represent for the Celebration Bowl.
And Coach, we know that, you know offense. You know, you were a quarterback, one of the best in the conference, not the best, but one of the best quarterbacks in the MEAC. However, when you look at it, offensively, you guys were number 2 in the conference. You guys averaged 34 points a game. Defensively, you all gave up 33 points a game. What are some of the things you have to do to shore up that defense a little bit better?
We just got to get a little bit more depth, Jay. You know, we don't make excuses around here. We just get it done. You know, I always tell my players, you know, deadbeat dads and losers make excuses. You know, winners find a way and get it done. And so that's what we're going to try to do. But we got to get a little bit more depth on that side of the ball. We had some injuries. We had a couple guys because of grades, and we was playing with a lot of backups. So we can get that depth straight on that side of the ball, especially the D-line and the secondary. It will be a lot better on that side of the ball.
If I got to look for something that concerns me, gives me area concern, no more Jordan Bentley, Mr. Reliable, one of the best rushers in the conference history. How do you replace his productivity? Do you put more on your quarterback, Akil Glass, and throw it more? Or do you have somebody waiting in the wings to step up?
Well, we got some couple good running backs we think that can step up. We have to do it by committee, though, Jay. You can't just replace Jordan Bentley the next year, you know. So we got to do it by running back by committee. We got 2 or 3 guys that we think can get the job done and come somewhere close to the yards that he put up.
7-5 a season ago, winning record there, expectations still kind of high. Do you feel like this upcoming year will be your best football team you've had since you've been the head coach at Alabama A&M?
I think so, Jace. It's like you say, it's year 3. We're 6-5 the first year, 7-5 last year. So we got back-to-back winning seasons, first time since 2012. We got the program and the ship turned and headed in the right direction. Now we got to get that final step and win our division and win the SWAC.
You know, it's interesting, Connell, that you asked, or Jay asked you just about, you know, the load that you're going to put on. Because when you take a look at a player like Akil Glass, who we'll bring in now, who is kind enough to join us, he's a civil engineering major, graduating in the spring of 2021, 3-point GPA or above that. Just talk about just how cerebral of a guy he is at that quarterback position.
Well, it's great anytime you have a quarterback with the grades that Akil has. He's an engineer major. He's a leader on and off the football field. As you can see, he has a 3.0. He's in engineering, and he's going to have a great future regardless if it's in football or if it's just in life. And the guys look up to him. You know, he's not a rah-rah guy that, you know, run his mouth all the time like Jay, but, you know, he just gets it done. he leads by example, and the guys look up to him, and I'm glad he's on my team.
Akil, you come into this year having started really since your freshman year, top 10 in FCS when you're talking about passing yards and other passing categories, but you're second team all SWAC from a season ago when you're projected to maybe kind of fall in line with that. How do you become a first team? How do you become that top quarterback in the league?
In order to do that, you know, it's all about my team. It's all about leading my team to success and leading them to the championship. That's what's been the missing factor for me, honestly, as far as the first team all conference and the player of the year. It's always gone to the Alcorn guy because they've always won the SWAC. So in order to be the guy, I gotta lead my team to the championship, and that's what I plan on doing.
How do you play quarterback with an ego like Connell Maynard as your head coach, man? I don't know how you do it.
It's fun. Sometimes it can get a little interesting, but you know, it's always fun to have a great mind like that to learn from and to pick his brain. You know, he'll walk into meetings and randomly ask us questions or trying to quiz us. So it's always a challenge, but I love a great challenge.
You know, he thinks he can outthrow you, right?
Yeah, I always tell him that if he was playing on the same team as me, he'd probably be playing running back.
Oh, that's great. All right, Jay, get out your stopwatch. We're going to go 60 seconds with Alabama A&M quarterback Akil Glass. So who has won the passing competition between you and your head coach more?
Coach Maynard.
Oh, last year's triple overtime win in the Magic City Classic, was that your most memorable moment?
It would have to be. I've never been in an overtime game before, and to go into 3 overtimes, it was pretty crazy.
If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would it be?
I would have to say to Japan. I would like to go in and just explore that place. It's always been a place I've wanted to go since I was younger.
If you could have dinner with one person, who would it be?
Peyton Manning.
That's a good one. Solid. Lastly, best football movie.
Oh, I'll have to go with Any Given Sunday because, you know, Coach Maynard in there is a pretty funny thing.
Oh.
No, but wait a minute. Doesn't he have like a picture of him with Jamie Foxx?
Yep, he has it sitting on his desk in his office.
Sitting on his desk. He reminds you all the time?
Yeah, all the time.
All right, we appreciate your time, both Akil Glass and Connell Maynard of Alabama A&M. Best of luck to you this season. Looking forward to it. And when we come back, we'll talk with a very familiar foe to the Bulldogs, Alabama State, on the other side.
Hey, did you know in the 1800s ketchup was medicine?
Did you know cricket has nationwide 5G?
Wow, that's surprising.
But true.
And now I also know that in the 19th century, you would have been a picture of health.
Surprising but true. Cricket has nationwide 5G.
Welcome back, Jay Walker, Tiffany Greene here with you as we welcome in the Alabama State Hornets, led by their head coach, Donald Hill-Ely. And this is a new era that was ushered in a few years ago, and the Hornets are looking to continue to build off of some of the success they saw in the SWAC East. So first of all, welcome in Coach Donald Hill-Ely.
Hey, good morning to you guys.
You know, for as sharp of a dresser as you are, I feel like we should start calling you like the Don, and then that's it.
You know what I mean? I don't have any disagreement to that. You know?
I mean, just dripping every time coming through. I like it. So you guys finished off 5-6 last season overall, and had a winning record in the conference. So when you're looking at what is to come for the Hornets, what are you most excited about?
Well, just the opportunity to have the leadership that we have, you know, with Ezra Gray, Christian Clark. You know, when I took over the program as the interim, it was a group of guys that were that class of guys that I knew would change this program and change it from, you know, being guys that just barely had won or had a winning season to teams that were going to be dominant in and out. And Ezra Gray and Christian Clark and those guys, you know, are back for their senior year. And this is, as I say, this is, you know, the time for the sun to shine on Alabama State. I really believe that we have the right people in place. We don't have as many seniors, but we do have a good class of guys, a real young, athletic, and very explosive team.
You know, offensively, struggled to score some points. Only averaged 22 points per game last year. But on the defensive side of the ball, I was a little surprised to find out you all led the conference in defense in terms of yards allowed per game. You only gave up 167 yards per game. How do you find that balance to get the offense playing at the same time the defense is playing well?
Well, the key is, if you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers and all those teams that have consistent winning, is that it becomes a parallel where defense now minimize the amount of points that is being allowed. And now we close the gap on the points being scored. So as I take it, prior to last year, we only averaged 14, 15 points a game. Now we bumped it up by 8 points and we closed the gap defensively. So what we're trying to do with all three phases is close the gap that between offense, defense, and special teams, we score more points than the opponent. You know, I've been a part of a national championship team where we averaged 9 points a game. You know, those days back at Hampton, and you remember when you was at Howard. So it's not about scoring. I've seen teams score 50 points a game and still don't win the conference. So it's about creating parity between all three phases. That's when you're starting to play championship play.
What's it been like being a coach during these times? You've got tons of coaching experience, been coaching for a long time. I know you've seen nothing like this ever, but what's the team's mindset from what you've gathered when you've been able to talk to them? What's their mindset like?
Well, you know what? It's a situation, man, where you're coaching a contact sport on a non-contact era. So, you know, you can't teach a guy how to roll the hips on Zoom. You know, you can't. The things that go with our game of getting down on the ground and getting back up, being agile, hostile, and mobile, all those kind of things you can't teach on Zoom. So it's been tough. You know, the young men that we serve all come from different areas of low economic situations where when they were home, I had guys that went home that end up losing 40 pounds because of the nutrition that we had saved them from. Now they're back in it every day eating the oodle noodles and the red hot dog. So now you get them back on campus where they have the steady meal where they can gain weight. I tell you that as I talk to the coaches, I tell them about this all the time. They used to complain about the cafeteria food every day they was up here. And now they calling coaches, the caf gonna be open when I get back? So it made them appreciate us and what we're doing for them here.
Man, I got you, man. Hey, every college kid need little oodles and noodles in their life. I'm just saying.
And college coaches.
Ezra Gray, running back for Alabama State. He is a second-team all-conference performer as a return specialist. Mr. Excitement. But I'm gonna make moms and them proud. Probably the highest academic, athletic HBCU football. I'm not even gonna say HBCU. FCS football player in the country, holder of a 4.0 GPA, one of the finalists for the academic Heisman Trophy there. We are so proud of you. I always talk about being more than an athlete. You've been able to do that. My first question to you is, where do you get that drive from to not just be a college athlete, but to be an student athlete at such a high level?
You know, first and foremost, it's all the glory to God. You know, with him and trusting in him and keeping the faith, it's pretty much been not, I don't want to say an easy battle, but I know I've always had him on my side. And growing up, my parents have always instilled that in me. And coming into college, knowing if I just keep my head on straight and manage my priority, you know, God's going to take care of the rest. So just keeping faith in him.
For you, you know, what is kind of that singular focus that you're coming into this season with? What's that one thing that you say, you know, I have to do a better job of, or I really want to sharpen myself in this area?
I really feel like I got to do a better job of pretty much emphasizing the importance on the little things. And I know for me, I'm the type of person where I like to lead by example through actions. But, you know, it comes a point in time where sometimes action ain't going to do it all the time. You got to be more verbal with it. And I feel like in the past, you know, some things I've let ride and eventually, you know, some of those things led in the detriments of the team. So now I feel like we really just got to put an emphasis on not letting the little things slide. So going in on the future, you know, like if your hand got to be on the line, your hand got to touch the line, you know, finishing all the way through, headbutting the finish. Just all those little things play a big key role in losing and winning football games.
All right, now, Tiff, we've had a lot of conversation with him. Can we go behind the scenes with Ezra Gray in 60 seconds, please?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going 60 seconds with Alabama State running back Ezra Gray. Let's go. JavaScript or C++?
Definitely JavaScript.
Okay. Can you give me your role model?
My role model is my brothers, Enrique and Ethan Davis.
Least favorite team in the conference?
My least favorite team in the conference is definitely Alcorn.
One thing you like about your coach?
One thing I like about Coach Ely, he's very hospitable. You know, he keeps it down to earth. Keep it real with it.
You kind of touched on this earlier, but why Alabama State?
I chose Alabama State because I felt like they treated me as a family. You know, they took me in, they didn't just look at me as a prospect, but they looked at me as a person.
Predicted record for this season?
Predicted record for this season. I don't see us losing no games. So whether we play 7 games, 8 games, however many we play, I don't see us losing.
I'm not there saying he's going undefeated. We're going to hold you to that, man.
Oh, for sure. Ain't no backing down over here.
It has been an absolute pleasure. We so thank you for your time, both Coach Donald Ely and Ezra Gray of Alabama State. Can't wait to see what the Hornets do coming through out of Montgomery. We'll ask you to stick around for more as Alcorn State, they were the SWAC East champions, and of course they won the conference last year. We'll hear from their head coach and offensive player of the year from a season ago, Felix Harper, when we return.
Academy Sports and Outdoors is making it even easier on you with in-store pickup. It's all new and basically means you go to academy.com, order whatever you need, and come get it in store. Get in, get out, get back to having fun with your family.
The champs are here. The champs are here again and again and again and again and again and again.
Ad nauseum, 6 times straight winning the SWAC East. Look, they're the big dogs. Everybody's chasing, gunning for them, back-to-back SWAC champions. We're joined now by their head coach, Fred McNair. Look, coming off a 9-4 campaign, only dropped 1 conference game. You know, does this get old at all for you?
Not really. Every day is a new day for us here at Alcorn. Different every day. So as coaches and players, we find something that's worth doing to make us better every season. So our expectation is very, very high every year. So that's our intention as coaches to make sure these players maintain their ultimate goal as winning the East Division title and playing those SWAC championships.
How much would it mean to you all, given what you all have done? You got that one trophy that's missing from your trophy case, Coach. That's Celebration Bowl championship. How much would it mean for y'all to win that? And what do you have to do to become the national champions at HBCU and become Celebration Bowl champions one day?
Well, look at the big picture, Jay, and that's the ultimate goal for us every year to get to the Celebration Bowl. Our intention is to win, and we go there to win. And the things that we have to just accept that and go with it. We have a lot of things we have to do here at Alcorn to get better. We're in a situation here. We don't have a whole lot of resources that other schools have, but we make way what we have. And competition is something that we strive on. Our players come step up to the plate every game to play and to win championship. And that's our ultimate goal, to win a national championship and a Celebration Bowl.
And you talked about competition, and this will be the last year of the SWAC as we know it. You being around the conference, having played in the conference and understand what's going on, the changing landscape. Next year, it's not going to look the same. You're talking about here comes Florida A&M, here comes Bethune-Cookman to the conference, into the East. However, Alcorn State will be playing in the West. Your thoughts about playing in the West next season?
Well, Jay, in our situation here at Alcorn, we play in the West every year. So we played at Grambling, we played at Southern, we played at Prairie View. So the only two that's missing is Pine Bluff and Texas Southern. So I don't shy away from talent. I don't shy away from competition. So I think that when we move over to the West, we'll be the same football club that everybody see every Saturday. Alcorn State University brand of football.
And one thing that Alcorn's got is a quarterback, Tiff. And let them know who's going to join us next.
Oh, that's right. The 2019 SWAC Offensive Player of the Year. They call him the Trigger Man down in Lorman. We're talking about Felix Harper. And look, you had an outstanding season a year ago. Really, since you have taken over this program, you have continued to let your name and legend kind of grow within the conference. So in terms of all this time that you've had off, right, what have you been working on? What have you been doing?
During this time off, I've just been working out and focusing on school. I just got my degree in business administration. So I just got it accepted in the graduate program to get my master's. So been focused on that right now. Also just been working out every day and hopefully get prepared for this next season in the spring.
Jay, what I love about this thus far is, we're continuing to highlight the student athletes. Certainly these are football media days, but I love it that these young men are getting degrees. They're setting themselves up for the future to better themselves and to contribute greatly to our society. So congratulations to you there, Felix. That's a big deal. Coach McNair, I know you're proud of that. Football-wise, what's been the best use of your time? Like, what's that thing that you have gone to that you said, you know what, this is going to help me be better as a quarterback for the upcoming season?
Coaching Coach Gray, and been taking tips from him. He's a great quarterback coach, and also listening to Coach Mack every day in practice. And, it's just wonderful learning from those. I feel like they're legends, so just taking one day at a time, watching film constantly, and, trying to also help encourage other new players we have on this team. So, just making sure, we stay perfect. And like Coach Mack always says, it's about us at the end of the day.
Hey, Felix, you know what? You got to share with our viewers out there. You part of this club. We got this little club. Coach McNair, he's part of this club. Other folks there. You're a player of the year in your conference, and you're a big man on campus. It mean to you to be the starting quarterback at the school of Air McNair, Air 2 McNair. Now you. What's it like?
Man, I just first and foremost thank God. It's an honor and a blessing. I just work hard each and every day. I say, Coach Mack always told me since day one, your time will come, just stay down, stay patient. And, that's what I did. And it just amazes me because I didn't even think I would be here in this position, but, put my faith in God and just working hard constantly. And I, tell my teammates as well, it's possible if you believe.
See, I heard you like fashion, so I'm giving you an opportunity. Tell us about your clothing line and your plans for that.
Oh, man, my plans is going good right now. clothing line. My dad had it for 20 years, so he likes the legacy. So he wanted me to carry on the legacy. Actually, I have it on right now. I'm gonna see if you can see it. This is the logo.
There you go. I was about to say, this is the time for the shameless plug. Say the name. I mean, this is the platform. Do it.
Oh, the name is called Felix Mion, which is my name. That is my full name, Felix Mion. But I go by Felix. It'd be hard for people to pronounce it. So I just go by Felix. But it's Felix Mion.
Mion. You know what? If we may say that on the broadcast, Jay. I think
we may do that.
I think we're gonna store that in the pocket.
Let's practice this now. So what we're gonna do is, for the first officially, we're gonna go 60 seconds on the clock with Alcorn State quarterback Felix Mion. Hit it.
All right. So we know you as Trigger Man, but what was your childhood or family nickname?
Baby Dale.
Baby Dale?
Yes, my middle name.
Okay, you got to dig deeper on that one real quick.
My middle name is Liddell, but they call me Baby Dale.
All right, TikTok or no?
No, I'll be doing my sister sometimes. But I don't have TikTok.
All right, are you a Kappa or a Nu?
Oh, big Nu.
Congratulations, I saw you just cross. All right, let's see here. Your Twitter handle is semi_famous too. So what's it going to take for you to be all the way famous?
I get that a lot. I don't know why people say that, but I don't know. I think I'm going to keep it as that, though. Right.
But what's it going to take you to get all the way famous? What you got to do?
I say make it to the league one day. Hopefully make it to the NFL if that's God's plan.
Win the Celebration Bowl. That'll get it done for you right there, young man.
Yes, sir. I'm going to try to. That's the main goal right now.
Well, we've talked about SWAC versus everybody in the SWAC East, and throughout the conference, it's Alcorn State versus everybody. They're the ones, yeah. They're the ones who've got it going on. We appreciate your time, Coach Fred McNair, Felix Harper. Thank you so much. This has been fun. We're getting down and dirty, learning the layers.
The future waits for no one. So we refuse to wait for it. We're not just pilots and engineers. We are pioneers. Today, battles are waged in nanoseconds, and planes are piloted from the other side of the world. We turn night into day and fly missions in space. The future's not coming. It's already here. This is the future. Join us and be the future.
Welcome back. Hey, we've got the Grambling State Tigers with us now, along with Jay Walker. I'm Tiffany Greene, and the head coach for the Tigers, Broderick Fobbs. Hey, Coach, what's going on? You surviving these days?
Yes, I am. I'm doing a really good job of dodging the COVID, and we're still, working to put things in place so that we'll be prepared to play this particular spring.
And so we don't call him the head coach of the Grambling State Tigers. You say the leader of the G-men.
Okay. Get me straight now. See, only Jay would do that. Coach Bob, see, he's just so kind.
Yes.
He wouldn't correct. He was gonna let that ride. But Jay, you gotta bring it out, huh?
I did.
The G-men. For the first time in the history of me covering Grambling football, probably since Eddie Robinson days, I looked at the preseason all-conference lists. First and second team, not one player from Eddie Robinson University is on the list.
That's right.
What is going on with that? You talk about a squad that was 6-5 last year, 4-3, second place. Is that lack of respect for the G or what?
Well, I mean, I think it is, but at the end of the day, we feel we have the necessary pieces in place to be a really good program this particular year. And that guy that's sitting on the screen with me is one of the guys that's gonna, make sure we change that. When we got here in 2014, it looked the exact same way, then. And it's just a matter of us going out and playing Tiger football and showing what we can do.
What are going to be some of the keys to helping Grambling get back to where Grambling normally is, competing for SWAC championships?
Well, I think first thing is we got to do a really good job of being disciplined and protecting the football. That's the most important thing. The team that makes the least mistakes normally wins football games. And for us, we want to take care of the ball. We want to make sure that we're not making very many mistakes, but then also we want to win the hitting war. We want to be the most physical team out there. We want to be the most competitive team, and we want to make sure that we're doing things the right way to be successful. We want to force teams to beat us, not be in a situation where, we're gifting teams, victories.
I'm a numbers guy. Offensively, middle of the pack. Grant, you guys don't belong middle of the pack, and the passing numbers were a little bit down, a little bit too. So maybe talk about what it's going to take to get more points on the board and more yards throughout the air.
Well, for us, we want to be an explosive football team offensively. Of course, we want to do and take advantage of what the defense, is not doing well. And for us, we want to be able to throw the football well. We want to be able to run with it after the catch, but then we also want to be able to run the football too. I just believe that you have to, at some point, run the football in order to put the ball in the end zone. There comes a point in time where you get down there, in the green zone, where you can't go vertically anymore, and the field gets reduced. So you're going to have to run the football at some point. So to be a great team for me, I've always believed that you have to do a lot of things well, because defenses are so good, they'll take away what you do well, and you have to be able to do something else. So for us, that's what it's about, making sure that we can do a lot of things well so that we can be successful.
Coach, the question is, and I ask you this, we talked to Alcorn State a little bit earlier. Alcorn's coming over to the West next year. So you're talking, I'm sure you weren't too pleased about seeing that. So you're talking about Alcorn's very competitive West, but
why? Why wouldn't I be pleased?
Oh, you want some of that smoke, as they say.
8-2.
Okay.
8-2.
That's your record, version.
8-2. Why wouldn't I want to play against? They're the best. They're one of the best teams in the league. And in my opinion, anytime you get an opportunity to play a team of their magnitude, why wouldn't you want that? I'm a competitor. Our players are competitors. Our coaches are competitive. Alcorn's competitive. Why would you want to do that? I don't understand why you would.
Jay, I love that. That was just that humble brag. I mean, he was just like, I don't even have to say much. I don't have to do much. Let me just go ahead and, just drop that record on you and tell them to bring it on. That's what I took away from that. I don't know about you.
You know what? And you can do that, but the person that's going to have to make it come to fruition is one of the guys. When you talk about leading the G-men in the future, we got to bring in Jeremy Hickbottom right now, because you came in there after Devontae Kincaid had established and took the program real high. You've had the ups and downs with it. What's your drive? What keeps you going in terms of, hey, I'm here for the long haul?
Man, I stay motivated. You know what I'm saying? Like, the talkers outside the ground, they keep me motivated. They keep this chip on my shoulder. My mom's, she passed away when I was 9. So that always, kept a chip on my shoulder. My family, of course, like my teammates, playing for my team, playing for Grambling. You know what I'm saying? That's all the motivation I need. I just always try to take the positive from, every negative situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I only can control what I can control, so that's all I've been focused on. So that made me the man I am today, just that drive, just, what I'm saying, seeing my family, in the predicament they in now, it just made me the man I am today.
Jeremy, you heard Jay talk about some of those greats, but who are some of those people that you're leaning on now for your football influence to help you better yourself as a quarterback, especially during this time? Who have you reached out to help you?
I'll say all of them. They reach out. They reach out to me. I reach out to them. I just try to absorb. I'm like a sponge when they get to talking. So I just absorb all the wisdom I could, anything about the position I could. So I just take that and run with it.
Want to give you some credit. 1,800 yards passing the season ago. Led the team in passing, 668 yards in rushing. You also led the team in rushing. I'm sure that's something you and Coach Files got to work on, because I just don't think it's healthy for a quarterback to be leading the team in rushing. What about that? What you say about that, Hit?
Basically, I just got to let the guys make plays. I feel like I try to put everything on my back. I try to put the team on my back every time. Sometimes I just need to just relax. Let the guys work, let the running backs work. Get the ball out to my receivers, let them work, make plays, so that's basically all for that. So, I mean, just trying to take all the pressure off me by, playing through the other guys and putting them in the right position.
All right, I'm ready to go 60 seconds with Grambling State quarterback Jeremy Hickbottom. Let's do this. All right, favorite holiday, Thanksgiving or Christmas?
Christmas.
All right, best gift you got?
I want to say a PS4 last year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you like a Call of Duty kind of guy?
I'm kind of like a Madden guy, Okay. I play 2K every now and then, so yeah.
All right, what's something that you learned to do during the pandemic?
Study film more, break down film, get in detail of what the defense trying to do and accomplish, them disguising defenses. It's just like, it gave me more time to get in the film room.
All right, if you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
To teleport, and because you can be at another place like at a matter of seconds, so teleport.
Yeah, from the 50-yard line to the end zone. That'd be just great. Okay. Your least favorite team in the conference. I feel like I may know this one already.
Alcorn.
Ooh, okay. We appreciate it. Thank you for letting us dig a little bit deeper in 60 seconds with Jeremy Hickbottom and the time that you've taken out with us today, both you and your head coach, Broderick Fobbs of the G-Men, Grambling State University. The Tigers, good luck to you this season and looking forward to seeing you guys on the field.
Who is USAA made for? It's made for this guy, a veteran who honorably served. And it's made for her. She's serving now. We made it for all branches and all ranks, whether they served one tour or made a career of it. We also made USAA for military spouses and their kids. USAA is easy to work with and can save you money on auto, home, and renter's insurance. Become a member today. Get an insurance quote at usaa.com/quote. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for.
Welcome back to the 2020 Cricket Wireless SWAC Football Virtual Media Days. Jay Walker, Tiffany Greene here with you, and the Jackson State Tigers are in the house. Look, there has been so much buzz about this program with the new big hire of their head coach, Deion Sanders, coming off of 4-8.
Prime time.
Oh, boy.
Prime.
Oh, boy.
I've always wanted to do that. Prime time.
He's so happy right now. He's so happy right now he could do that. Coming off a 4-8 record, but there are high expectations coming out of Jackson. And so without further ado, let's welcome in Primetime, Coach Primetime, Deion Sanders. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I already feel like I know you both because I'm a fan of HBCU football. I've watched you both for quite some time, and you do a wonderful job. You really do. You bring it to life. I cannot wait to see you personally and hear you call and doing what you're doing. I can't wait. I'm excited about it.
Thank you. We are too. We can't wait. It's time, right? It is time. With the addition of yourself to this program, I guess, what's like the first order of business? Because there's been excitement. You've talked about, how you look to restore order, if you will, with the program and bring it back to its heyday. But like, what's your first order of business once you get the group all back together?
Well, we got to set the template to the expectation. The expectation is the sky, and we're not going to settle for less. Not only our wonderful AD, Ashley Robinson, has established that even with the complex and the things that we're doing in-house to upgrade everything, to take everything to another level. And we're doing that as well with the coaching staff, with the kids that we're recruiting. We're not doing things that have been typically done. You continue to do the same old things you've always done, you're going to get the same old things you've always got. And we are way outside of the box right now. We are way outside of the box, and the sky's the limit.
For the rest of America that still wants to know a little bit, why Jackson State, why now?
I would say, why not? And unequivocally, Jackson State has a storied tradition. Jackson State are winners. You haven't seen them actually win any games, but they're winners. Academically, winners. 4 Hall of Famers, winners. A historical coach that just passed, winner. Everything about the school, everything about the city, to me, breeds winning. We just need a component just to re-energize it. I just got to refocus everything. That's all. We have the ingredients here. We just got to refocus and go out and get the substances that can get us back on track. And that's the kids. And we're doing that.
I mean, you can feel the energy, right? The excitement that's there. But how do you help or hope that that will permeate through your entire program? I mean, what have you been doing during this pandemic to kind of spread that around to your players?
We're identifying not only players, but we're identifying people associated with our program that have the 4 attributes: smart, tough, fast, discipline. Smart, tough, fast, discipline. When you talk to interactive coaches, you're going to hear those characteristics. And we're not stopping. We're not settling with neither one. You got at least, you got to have at least three of the attributes to even get inside this locker room. And we have a coaching staff that are all not only compatible, but they're competent, they're committed, and man, they have consistency. We have some good teachers and good leaders of men inside this locker room, but the type of guys that we're going after, I get calls every darn day or text message and my DMs are on fire. Well, can you look at this kid? I said, is Nick Saban looking at him? Is Dabo Swinney looking at him? Why would you want me to look at him and they ain't looking at him? No, I'm not selling for that. I want the same darn kid that they're after, and I'm gonna get him, and we've gotten him.
A question for you, Dion, in terms of winning the SWAC. It all starts with that trigger man position, that quarterback position. Next year for you. But they had a revolving door last year, JSU.
Yeah.
The quarterback position down there.
We got a key to that door. We got a key to that door. Honestly, we have a few guys on the roster that's capable, very capable. I feel like Coach Pollock and our other coordinators, I can't give away the other name right now because he has complications. He's going to be here momentarily. But we have the people that's going to administrate that offense, the coordinators that are going to do a good job and get them in a better position. We have guys on the roster, but when you're alluding to my son, he can spin it, man. He could do it. He thinks the game. His IQ is off the charts. But it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a battle to win that starting job. And we're not going to hand the keys to nobody. But I've seen him drive.
Yeah, let's bring in Mr. Hampton, the reigning SWAC Defensive Player of the Year, tackling machine all over the field. What's it been like for the players having a change in coaches and ending up with Deion Sanders as your head football coach?
Honestly, it's starstruck. You know, we still talk about it to this day when they brought Deion here. So it's a blessing.
Hold on. They brought Deion here?
Coach Prime.
Oh, okay. We going to get some straightening right now. When they brought Deion here? Oh, no. Thank you. Okay. I appreciate that.
We brought Coach Prime here. So it's a blessing. I feel like he'll change our mindset around. We just need more structure, honestly. That's all. We got some dogs here already. He gonna find that out in practice.
We're gonna put you on the hot seat, Keontae. So just get ready. Let's do this. If you could have dinner with one person, who would it be?
LeBron James.
Dream job.
NFL player.
Least favorite team in the conference.
Southern.
How about role model?
My mother and my father.
Good answer. One thing you like about your coach?
SWAC.
The energy, I mean, it's just off the charts. How about, why did you choose Jackson State?
God.
These are real simple. I mean, he's so rapid fire and quick with his answers. I got to
God,
come up with
good.
a little bit more. God led you to Jackson State. I mean, you can't really, follow up with that. All right, we'll have plenty more to go. Thank you, Coach Prime, as well as, you've all been waiting for this. Give me 5. Jay's top 5 SWAC coaches of all time is coming up. You don't want to miss it. It'll be definitely debatable.
I better be in there, Jay. I better be in there, too. I'm coming back on if I ain't in there. All right?
Hey, not yet.
We made USAA Renters Insurance for families on the move. We know moving is hard, so we made getting and changing your coverage easy. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for.
Welcome back to the Cricket Wireless SWAC Football Virtual Media Days. Travis, you being an HBCU grad, tell us a little bit about why Cricket Wireless felt it was important to support historically Black colleges and universities.
Well, we have a history of investing in K-12 education to provide youth with access to critical tools they need to reach their goals. This is merely our furthering the investment by adding in HBCUs, allowing us to connect those youth to opportunities HBCUs offer to help continue their education and reach their career goals. We're supportive of the whole community, and in so doing must be invested in the whole individual. This is why our employees and authorized retail partners have food giveaways and food drives, back to school partnerships, and community improvement campaigns, because our efforts really reach beyond the showrooms or parking lots.
In your opinion, what does it mean to be the title sponsor of the Southwestern Athletic Conference?
As a title sponsor of the SWAC, it allows us to demonstrate our continued commitment to the African American community while helping to amplify to our customers the important role HBCUs play in developing our future leaders. Tommy Henry, our head of marketing for the Gulf States, planted the seeds years ago of this relationship. Through the fostering and nurturing of this bond, we have grown to be an integral partner in the SWAC, or should I say the elite Southwestern Athletic Conference, with the addition of the mighty Florida A&M Rattlers. This demonstrates the shared partnership both organizations have in furthering the education and upbuilding of the communities where we live, work, and play.
I like how you added in there about Florida A&M joining the SWAC as it continues to swell in numbers and is the premier conference in HBCUs. And I think you already kind of touched on the fact about, its touch point in the community, but if you could expound upon how Cricket Wireless sees this as such a beneficial partnership with the SWAC to help our community.
Through our research, we found that more than 50% of African Americans will leave college with student loan debt. By teaming up with the SWAC, we hope to help showcase the value and prestige HBCUs offer. The friendships and relationships formed on campus or the yard are truly lifelong. Like many others, I met my wife while attending FAMU. My daughter attends an HBCU. Cricket and the SWAC team together to ensure options are presented to rising high school sophomores and juniors especially. The quality of education found on HBCU campuses is unparalleled. Friendships, outstanding athletics, and an elite education highlight the value in an HBCU experience. At Cricket, we hang our hats on providing value to our customers. It's just a perfect pairing.
And oftentimes you hear mottos and slogans for the SWAC. It's building champions for life. When you hear that, how does Cricket Wireless's mission stand by that very slogan?
It aligns with Cricket's corporate social responsibility platform, which our goal is to support young people and their families by building meaningful connections with mentors who inspire kindness, encourage healthy habits both online and offline, and provide them with supportive resources they need to overcome challenging times. Our goal is to create a kinder, healthier world, and that sets up all young people to succeed and do more of what makes them happy. Our mantra in the Gulf States is to get better at doing good. As we embody these goals in the Gulf and across Cricket Nation, it reinforces the Building the Champions for Life message. One doesn't have to be a world-class hurdler or a gold medal swimmer to be a champion. True champions build, uplift, and make giving back a way of life. Whether in their hometowns or community or at their alma mater, we're lockstep with SWAC in making certain champions, on or off the field, are supported.
Well, Travis, you are the market director of the Gulf States for the central region of Cricket Wireless. So if anyone is interested in attaining any more information about Cricket Wireless, where do they go?
Simply go to www.cricketwireless.com to learn more about our brand and our work in the community, or they can follow us on social media at Cricket Wireless on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter.
Thank you, Travis Harrington, so much. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, Tiffany. Glad to be a part.
Hey, did you know in the 1800s ketchup was medicine?
Did you know Cricket has nationwide 5G?
Wow, that's surprising.
But true.
And now I also know that in the 19th century, you would have been a picture of health.
Surprising but true. Cricket has nationwide 5G.
I have here with me today Captain Remoshe Nelson, Public Affairs Officer for the United States Air Force Air Demonstration Squadron, the Thunderbirds. Captain Nelson, it's an honor to meet you, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me today. It's an absolute honor to be a part of this engagement.
So we certainly have a few things in common. You're an HBCU grad, so am I. You attended Howard University. I'll forgive you for that one. But what was that experience like? I'm a FAMU grad, all right? So what was that experience like, and how did your time at Howard help shape you and make you into the person you are today?
Absolutely. I say this all the time. The best decision I ever made in my life was to attend Howard University. It has its own way of ingraining excellence into its students, from the professors to the education to the peers who are from all around the world that look like you and that just challenge you to be your best constantly in and outside of the classroom. It truly molded me into the leader I am today. It taught me to have grit. It taught me to have it also provided me with the education for me to feel confident in who I am, but also be able to walk into any office, any room, and know that I am equipped with the best education to be a contributing member in any organization, to include the Air Force, from the service opportunities and the leadership opportunities on and off campus. It helped me build my leadership skills and prepare me to serve my country.
Yeah, I love that answer. And something that's unique about you is I've done my research. There aren't too many female officers in the United States Air Force. And so I'm trying to figure out, from your opinion, what captured your attention? What attracted you to the Air Force?
Absolutely. So my father was in the Navy, and he used to tell me all of these amazing stories about his time in the military. And so when I was looking at a decision for my career, based on his stories, and what I wanted for myself was not your typical job, to be a part of an organization that's bigger than yourself, to be in a position of service and to help other people. I found that the Air Force was the best fit for me. And I also looked at the Air Force's mission and the core values, which is integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. And so I personally had very similar values to the Air Force. And I knew that if I applied and joined the Air Force, I would be in a career that would provide me with leadership opportunities to travel to the world and lead and give back.
Well, when you're thinking about the Southwestern Athletic Conference, they are a terrific conference that leaves FCS in attendance just about every year. And so they are excellent in their own right, putting out great products. When you look at the partnership between the United States Air Force and the SWAC, why do you feel like that is so beneficial to our community?
Absolutely. So the success of the Air Force is dependent upon the quality of airmen that we have in our service, from their mental, their moral, and their physical character. And the more diverse airmen we have, the better we are as a force. And that is where SWAC comes in. It is an absolute great partner to have, because it provides a great venue to inspire and to reach diverse set of young individuals and allow the Air Force to kind of communicate our mission, but also to reach those individuals and allow us to educate them on what we can do. And so I think it's a great partnership to just build awareness about our career opportunities.
That kind of leads me into the next question. You talked about just your desire to serve your country, and obviously there was a family tie there, but what are some of those focus programs that the Air Force is doing with historically Black colleges and universities?
Yeah, so one of the biggest one is the one I participated in. And so that's why SWAC is a great partner, because it allows us to highlight some of the opportunities we have through Air Force ROTC. So it's our Air Force Reserve Officer Training Program. So it allows college students to participate in a military program to learn about the Air Force, prepare you to be a leader. And once you're done with your 4 years, you graduate and can commission as an officer. We provide several scholarships through that, which I was a recipient of. And so it paid for my 4 years at Howard University. And so it was a great opportunity for me personally and professionally. But I think the biggest highlight right now is the first time this year the Air Force is partnering with the HBCU Battle of the Bands. And so As a title sponsor, the Air Force gets the opportunity to showcase not only our Air Force band, but to build awareness on the opportunities that young adults in the Air Force, that young adults can participate in, such as Air Force ROTC.
For those watching, naturally, they may have this question of where can I find out some more information about the United States Air Force? And to that, you would say, Captain Nelson.
Absolutely. So in general, there's multiple ways to find out about this. One, you can look up your local recruiter. You can go to airforce.com, which will provide you that information where you can locate a local recruiter to talk to them. You can also follow us on our social media platforms that has a lot of great information regarding the Air Force and the opportunities that are out there.
Before we go, any last words or anything you would like to share with SWAC fans about just the Air Force's core mission?
Absolutely. So I hit on it a little bit earlier, just it's something that aligned with me personally. And I think that it will align with the same audience that SWAC has, is our core values, which is integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. And so we are looking for the best that can meet to meet the Air Force requirements to become an airman. And I know SWAC can help us do that. And our goal is really to just use this platform to connect to those highly motivated fans and students who are interested and joining the Air Force, but also who have the grit and the determination to be their best self and to serve their country.
Well, appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Captain Reema Nelson.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. And the Air Force truly appreciates the relationship that we have with SWAC, and we look forward to building upon that.
The future waits for no one, so we refuse to wait for it. We're not just pilots and engineers, we are pioneers. Today, battles are waged in nanoseconds, and planes are piloted from the other side of the world. We turn night into day and fly missions in space. The future's not coming, it's already here. This is the future. Join us and be the future.
All right, welcome back in. Jay, I'm curious to know your thoughts, because we heard a lot from the coaches and players. Some things we thought were standard, par for the course, but maybe some surprising things in your mind that stuck out to you.
I think go back to the top of the show and that swagger, something about it. Maybe I'm wrong, but that swagger from Alabama A&M. They don't mind everybody else getting all this hype. They realize they think they got the best quarterback in the conference. They think they can win it. I think when you look at Alabama State is kind of like, we're going to put it all together. The offense and defense are both improved. They should be good. Alcorn State, bring on anybody. They act like the man. There's a certain confidence they have. And in Felix Harper, you see why they win because of his demeanor. You can tell his demeanor tells you that he's a winner on and off the field. And I think Grambling, that's slight. They want to get back to greatness, what they have to do. And Jackson State, I think the question becomes, sounds good. Everything sounds good. But I know a number of coaches that are saying they got to play us on the field. And we're not playing against Deion Sanders. We're playing against Deion Sanders' team. So I think that's the part where, yes, hey, Coach Sanders, Jackson State, they're excited. They own the offseason. But these coaches feel like, they can't beat us during the regular season, the spring football season. So it's going to play out very interesting when they play games.
I'm so intrigued by what's going to happen in the last ordering, if you will, of the SWAC East, because quite honestly, I agree with you. I think Alabama A&M is coming, and I think they are out to prove that. They've gotten better year after year, but again, you got to take down the top dog, and until somebody does that, it's always Alcorn
always now. Alcorn down at the reservation. And I'll say one that probably one of the better moments I've had today when I'm leaving here thinking how impressive the young men were that we interviewed. Mm-hmm. And especially, I'm going to call it what it is. Ezra Gray stands out in above. The running back for the academic accomplishments, you see why he's so accomplished. And that's the part they're like, hey, that's what we all want, be a student athlete.
Yeah, and I love the fact that so many of them have already graduated, right? Like they have gone on campus, and yes, they're doing their job on the field, but they have taken care of business in the classroom. And beyond anything, you want them to walk away with a degree, and so many of them have and are furthering their education in grad school. So big ups to them for sure. All right, Jay, it's about to go down. It's that time for your top 5. Okay, so I know you got to, we don't have the whole, intro and all that kind of stuff with you as a quarterback and, reliving your glory days. But give me 5, the top 5 SWAC coaches of all time.
Man, and normally I go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We know that, but this one, number 1 is so obvious. So number 1 is Eddie Robinson. And Eddie Robinson, winningest coach in the history of college football when he retired. Did it all. One man, one wife, one school, one job. That's Eddie Robinson and the number of players he put in the league. Number 2, though, Eddie Robinson has some competition now. Now, he has competition because he didn't win national championships and SWAC championships all the time. So number 2 on my list, I'm going with his rival, former Southern legendary coach, Ace Mumford. Think about that. You got Eddie Robinson in the conference getting all his accolades, but Southern wasn't going away. And Ace Mumford was one of those legendary coaches. I think they go hand in hand. Number 3, let's go on down to maybe if Coach Prime does what he's supposed to do, well, you got to pass up W.C. Gordon. It's going to take a lot of winning and a lot of swag to do that. W.C. Gordon built that Jackson State program into one of the blue blood programs that it became. Number 4, they call him the Godfather. One of the only coaches on this list that was at Southern and Alcorn State. I think he gets more of his claim from the job he did at Alcorn. Got to go with Marino Cassim. And those top 4 coaches I listed, they were all listed in the ESPN top 150 coaches of all time, College Football Hall of Famers. So give it up to the Godfather. And number 5, I got to go with what I've seen with my own 2 eyes. Eddie Robinson, he was coach when I played a little bit, but the others weren't. But what I've seen with my own 2 eyes in the SWAC, in terms of coaches and coaching legends, I'm going Pete Richardson. Pete Richardson, great job that he did down at Southern, built them up when he took over in the early 90s and they became a powerhouse. I see you, Pete. I'm going to let you smell your roses while you live. On the bubble, some coaches not quite making it. Go with Houston Markham, winningest coach in the history of Alabama State University football. He put them on the map. And I'm an offensive guy, so I got to go with Archie Gunslinger Cooley. Coached at a couple spots, but what he did with the Satellite Express down at Mississippi Valley State hasn't been replicated since. So that's Jay's Gimme 5 top coaches in the history of the SWAC. I don't think on this one, Tiff.
You know what? I can't debate you on this one. This is the one time where I could stop and say, Jay, wait a minute, this is recording, right? You're right. I agree with you.
Say it louder. Say it louder.
Well done. Well done, my friend. That was well done. But wait a minute. If they have something to say about it, they do want to debate you. If they want to chime in on that list, where can they find you?
You can hit us up at Black College Live. Hit us up at Black College Live on social media. I'm easy to find.
All right. So that was just day 1, folks. Just day 1. And there's so much more to come. Look, we're going to hear from more players and coaches. We'll delve into the SWAC West a little bit more. And certainly we'll give you that SWAC predicted order of finish. I know everybody is chomping at the bit to hear what everyone thinks about who's going to finish first. Jay, any tease for tomorrow? Huh? Any plug? Anybody you want to hear from?
What position did I play?
Let me see.
Quarterback. Of course. So I'm going to go deep and give you the top 5 SWAC quarterbacks of all time tomorrow. SWAC quarterbacks of all time tomorrow. And number 1 is not as obvious. It's not what you think. So we'll keep you posted on that.
All right. We hope that you have enjoyed day 1 of the 2020 Cricket Wireless SWAC Football Virtual Media Days. For Jay Walker, I'm Tiffany Greene. We'll see you tomorrow. The Southwestern Athletic Conference would like to send a special thank you to our corporate sponsors, Cricket Wireless, the United States Air Force, USAA, and Academy Sports and Outdoors. Hey fans, make sure to follow us on social media at The SWAC on Twitter and Instagram, and the Southwestern Athletic Conference on Facebook.